Hey everyone, today was a pretty long day. I woke up early to play in a tournament and I didn't do too well. Just got unlucky, but pretty tired. But then I took a nap and then I woke up and did some other stuff. So it's kind of a late video, but I thought today would be a great time to go back to talking about Destiny. So we left off sort of right before the Taken King came out, which is the first DLC. Or sorry, the first. What did they call it? Because it wasn't the first DLC. It was the first what did they call it back then? It was just like the yearly big update thing, like new game that you bought. Basically, it was not like you didn't have to buy it, but they came out with like a collector's edition and everything. But before we get to that, I kind of want to rewind to House of Wolves, which was the second DLC. And this was around when I was still playing on Xbox. So I swapped from Xbox to PlayStation. And, me and my friends, Joe and Julian, it was another guy named Julian, we beat Prison of Elders. And the final boss was so hard on Prison of Elders. And you basically had to, run out. So, well, first of all, Prison of Elders was basically, instead of a raid, they did this sort of wave game mode where it was like you had 5 or 6 waves that you had to do and complete objectives, and then once you did those, you had a final boss, and then you got rewards that were pretty much equivalent to raid gear and stuff. And I think the max light level at that time was 34, because I think they increased it by 2 every DLC before they changed it to the new light level system. They changed the light levels 20 gajillion times, I feel like. But anyway, so I tried a lot on Xbox. But the strategy to beat what was his name? The final boss. I'm blanking on his name. Was you run out and you go straight to the left, run to the left, and you get on this thing and you get Gjallarhorn. You do a heavy ammo synthesis, which is basically an item that gives you max ammo for whatever type of weapon. So heavy ammo in this case. You do heavy ammo synthesis. Boom, boom, boom. Shoot all your rockets. You have 7 rockets. Boom, boom. It's like boom, boom, reload, boom, boom, reload, boom, boom. Or did it have 3? Could you have 3 Gjallarhorn shots in there? Was it reload 3? Was it 3 reload, 3, and then 1? No, I think it was 2. Anyway, whatever. Doesn't matter. But anyway, then what you do is you have to go back in. So sorry, you do the first heavy ammo synthesis before you get into the thing. You're in the waiting room or whatever. Then you have to do it again really quickly before he gets on top of you and destroys everyone. So what happens on Xbox 360 is, because it's last gen, it takes eons to load the menu. Literally, like a minute to load the menu. So the issue, you had to do a completely different strategy or get really lucky and the Xbox loads that fast, because you just wouldn't have enough time before he just gets on you and destroys you. Because you'd have to go up, shoot your rockets, and then heavy ammo synths quickly, but it took 30 seconds to a minute to get over to the menu, and it loads. So, couldn't do it on Xbox. We tried a lot, though. Me and my friends on Xbox tried a lot. And then once I went over to PS4, we did it. I don't think I had Gjallarhorn at that time on PS4, so we got the Gjallarhorn and all that stuff. So, another funny thing in year 1 before we get to year 2 is the one day Xur, who is the merchant who sells exotic items for strange coins, and that was of course how I got my first exotic weapon. What was it called? The arc sniper that made you invisible when you crouched. Patience and time. That was my first exotic I got with strange coins. It was kind of not that good of an exotic, but I just remember waking up so early, buying it, and going into the Cosmodrome or whatever and trying it and stuff, because that was my first exotic weapon. But anyway, so one time during summer, this was peak. This was when everyone figured out the meta. Okay, Gjallarhorn's really good, probably best weapon in the game. And then everyone figured out, the best exotic items and stuff. I remember there was a good amount of time where Armamentarium, is that what it was called? The Titan chess piece was really good, and stuff. I played Warlock. Mostly. But so Xur one time came for the first time ever without a weapon. And I still, to this day, believe that he was supposed to sell Gjallarhorn, but they didn't want everyone to get, basically a free Gjallarhorn. Because at the time, I'm about to sneeze. Hold on. Whoa! Okay, sorry. Wow, what a video so far, huh? I haven't even gotten to the main topic. I'm like, rewinding. Where was I? Gjallarhorn. Everyone knew Gjallarhorn was pretty good. So, Zerg comes, no weapon, first time. Everything else is there, no weapon. And they say, oh, that can happen. Really? That can really happen? Because to that point, Gjallarhorn had only been sold like literally week 1, I think it was. I think week 1 of the game before anyone could have enough strange chords realistically, unless you were a capital G grinder, you know? Or like, you know, like Sword Art Online were like the beta players, that wasn't that like a storyline in the beginning where like everyone hated the beta players because they knew more about the game or something, unless you like knew, or you were a developer, you're like, oh, Gjallarhorn's pretty good. He had never brought it. So then everyone knows Gjallarhorn's good, everyone's still farming for it, it's just luck. And then he doesn't bring a weapon. I still to this day believe it was supposed to be Gjallarhorn, but they just didn't want to give everyone for free. So anyway, that was a fun little moment. So Taken King comes out. Taken King is pretty good. I think a lot of people really liked Taken King. That was one of the coolest raids. I remember going to school and just, of course, me watching the raid like not during class, but just whenever I got a chance to, and that was really fun. And then I don't remember how long it took me to do it, but that was a fun raid, and it was cool how long it was. Like it felt like finally, because Crota's End was like, because we had like Vaulted Glass, which is just like the icon, like that's just the most iconic raid ever. I still love it. I know that's probably nostalgia glasses on, but and then like Crota was cool because it was so different. It almost felt like a strike. And it was like really quick if you optimized it. But there was some like cool things about it. The armor was pretty cool as well. And then Taken King comes out and Orc's Fall, is that what it's called? King's Fall, sorry, King's Fall. And almost all the encounters are like really well made. And they finally have like more than like 2 bosses. Because like Vaulted Glass is Templar, and then Atheon, basically, as bosses. And you have a couple encounters before, like you have like opening the Templar. I'm blanking on the name of the encounters. And then you have like Gorgon's Lair, then you have the part before Atheon. But those are like the 2 bosses. And then Crota, of course, you have like singers. What are they called? Something singers, and then Crota right after. That's pretty much it for bosses. So King's Fall comes in with what, like 4 bosses, right? Because you go the big pallet or the big Titan looking guy, and then you have Fogoth, and then you have the siblings, and then you have orcs. So that's pretty cool. And of course, Orc's like coming out, and he's like this huge guy. Is so cool. But yeah, King's Fall is cool. King's Fall is cool. Really felt like the WoW raid that we'd wanted. Like the World of Warcraft raid that I wanted, where it's like, okay, this is a whole level. This is, very cool. Feels like you're exploring more parts of the ship, because that was a big part of the DLC, was exploring the whole ship, the Dreadnought. So yeah, pretty cool. What stories and stuff? So one thing that they added at some point during Taken King was strike exclusive drops. So basically that would mean specific strikes would drop like specific items. So for the two that are for me most famous, because eventually I switched to like Hunter, was Taniks, the Taniks strike, and he dropped his cloak, and then the Scion strike. And so the Scion strike had 3 different cloaks that dropped, and they were all like the Scion cloaks, and they all were different colors. I I feel bad too because I forced my friends to farm with me because what you had to do is you had to go into a playlist. You couldn't just like click the strike and go in. You had to do it from a playlist, so you randomly could like not get the strike you wanted. So it would literally just be us sitting there going up, leave, going up, leave, and you had to hear the whole thing. Up, going up, leave, and then finally you'd get Taniks and you'd do it and you wouldn't get the cloak. Or finally you'd get Scions and you wouldn't get the cloak. I remember the Scions cloak took so long for me to get. And that strike just freaking kind of sucks. I think it was a PS4 exclusive for a while, I think. That strike is terrible. And thinking about that strike now, it's like, oh, Lord. Like, Taniks is kind of cool. But anyway. Let's see. What else? I'm trying to think if the Black Hammer exotic quest came out during Taken King. I'll have to look that up, but that was like one of the coolest moments in Destiny. I think a lot of people agree is when people find this secret mission and it's basically Taniks. Yeah, it must have been because it was Taken, or because like Taniks was basically Taken. And you have to beat the whole thing in like, was it 10 minutes, 15 minutes? And then you get Black Hammer exotic. That was one of the coolest things ever. I think a lot of people agree. I think a lot of people like want that to come back in Destiny 2, or not that specific thing, but like secret stuff like that. And I think that's something that is lost when they became independent and then got bought by whoever they're owned by now. They've been sold and bought 50,000 times, I feel like, but. Nowadays, it just feels like they don't have like enough money and manpower to justify doing that. Those kind of cool things. But yeah, anyway, that's pretty much it for now. We'll probably talk about Destiny 2 at some point because the rest of like Destiny 1, I just was kind of on and off. Like it wasn't like super memorable for me, or like I can't remember like specific things. But a lot of stuff I wanted to talk about were from the first year. And what was the one strike? I'll have to talk about it next time. I'll try to remember. But anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Kind of long video, but hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.